I'm so excited to tell you about our partner, Isomer Skincare Laboratories. You guys, rooted in science and integrity, in the best ingredients and best delivery systems. Unlike any other skincare on the market, for over 30 years, they've been giving you the real science. So this isn't trend. This isn't the hot ingredient of the day on TikTok. This is 30 years of solving your skincare problems. So we're partnering with them today. Happy 20, HAPPY20 gets you 20% off your order. You have free shipping and handling at $100 or more, and they have a solution for every problem. Mature, aging skin, they've got you covered. Sinking, sagging skin, they've got you covered. You can take a really easy test on isomers.ca. And it will tell you, it will recommend exactly what you need for your skincare needs. Or you can go in there and find some of their icons, like the Copper P serum. They've got an amazing pure hyaluronic acid, nothing but hyaluronic acid. Their Fast Lift Eye Serum is an industry icon. That's all available at their website. You go to isomers.ca. You use the code HAPPY20. Please use that so they know that we sent you. You get 20% off your order. You'll get free shipping and handling at $100 or more. And if you don't know where to start, take that quiz. It will tell you exactly what to do. Happy 20 at isomers.ca. So happy you're here.
I'm so happy you're here.
We've got a big episode ahead of us.
Listen, we waited. We hoped, we dreamed. We sent a little carrier pigeon out east. I had to actually look up this state on a map.
I had to get out all my crochets and my fine spun lace.
Oh,
I had to dust off my baby doll.
I got my tambourine. I am ready for a festival.
Girls, since we put the call out to say, who would you like us to visit with? I'm so happy you're here. I can't tell you how many people said, bring her out, bring her out. The one, the only, our boho queen, Maia Powell. Hey, girl.
I am just honored to be here with you two. And I'm so honored people wanted to hear from me. Like I'm feeling kind of famous right now.
You are.
Girl, this is years in the making. You left us years ago. We've been waiting for this. Hi, and welcome to So Happy You're Here.
I'm so happy to be here.
So friends, if you haven't met Maia Powell before, she was part of
the dream team.
No disrespect to the years before or the years after.
No, just a magical time.
But the magic of Wake Up in Style every Saturday morning.
What years are we talking about? Guys, I'm terrible with time and space.
2016 through early 2019.
Yeah, that's the height.
Well, 2015 for sure, but I was new and still talking way too fast. 2016 through 2019.
Magic time.
Wake Up in Style
Indigo
every Saturday morning.
Co.
Oh my gosh. So now Maia used to work with us every Saturday morning. If you didn't know that, she was part of the original Wake Up in Style crew. She was responsible for all of us feeling beautiful in our boho, eclectic, artistic clothes.
Free-spirited.
And yes, so good. And she left the network a few years before the rest of us. And so we're here to catch up. So hi, Maia Powell.
Oh my gosh, thank you for the intro. Yes, it's been 5 years, if you can believe that.
No, I cannot.
How did that happen so fast?
I guess I came in sporadically to the Minneapolis area, like for a few years, but it's got to be at least 3 since I've seen you guys. So it's great to catch up.
Somehow you're aging backwards. Is that what happens when you move to Vermont?
Yeah, so I feel like it does because I don't get a lot of sun here. There's no sun. There's no forever chemicals in the water because I live at like 2,000 feet in the air. So yeah, I'm just super like crunchy and organic now. I don't know why I dressed preppy though. So I feel like it's a little conflicting.
You look so good.
Like I should have been a little bit more
a little
into
TV
my boho
blue
vibe.
Wait, are we seeing your home right now? Is this your home?
Yep.
Girl,
it's gorgeous.
Is that what you look at every day?
Yeah, there's a mountain behind the mist right now. And I basically just live in a tree house. It's very, very wooded.
It is
serene.
It's gorgeous.
It's stunning. And for the people who are just keeping up, who do you live with?
I live with my husband, John, my baby, Otis, who's really a toddler. He's turning 2 in July. And then Jeb, did you want to say hi?
Hi, baby
and then I live with
Jeb, the star of the show. Jeb, we're also so happy that you're here. Thank you so much for being
He's happy to be here. He's really feeling relaxed by the conversation.
Can you believe how much has happened in the 5 years since you left Shop
Absolutely.
HQ?
No.
Isn't it wild? So we have a lot to talk about, but let's get started with how you got into home shopping. That's where we've been starting with a lot of people because home shopping was our life for so long, still kind of is, but it is a unique industry. Like when I used to tell people, oh yeah, I'm a home shopping host, they're like, wait, what? Very few people actually do it. So what did you do before home shopping?
I mean, you guys, not much. I started my career.
You were a
pretty much
baby.
in home shop. I wasn't. Yeah, basically, I was born in 2015. So I lived in Vermont, and I went to University of Vermont, and
you and Wendy went to school together.
Yeah, basically.
Wait, I didn't know that. Wendy Russo also went to University of Vermont.
She was one of our lovely sorority girls. We didn't actually meet at school, but yeah, we both went there.
Different decades. Okay.
Different decades. And so then I graduated in December, and I am also really bad at years, but this was about, I would say 16 years ago. And my now husband, then boyfriend, got a job offer in Minneapolis, and we were like, I guess we'll go there. Like we had never been, and none of our friends were moving there. And we're like, yeah, we'll just go try it out. And actually, so funny, my boss, I was a bartender while I was at college, and he was like, I heard they have a home shopping network in Minnesota. You should try and work there. And
wait,
I was
are you kidding me?
What a random thing out of the blue.
No, this was after he forced me to do karaoke for the first time and let me choose a Whitney Houston song. I can't sing. It was the most embarrassing
Which
moment.
one? Do you remember?
Come on. Oh, I want to dance with somebody.
I want to dance with somebody.
I want to feel the heat with somebody.
I like to think I could sing it, but then the lyrics come up and you start thinking about Whitney, and it was just, I was very flustered and it went poorly. But after that, he told me I should work in home shopping.
I mean, clearly you did a good job because he thought you should be on television after that.
Yeah,
so
he felt like I had enough presence.
He saw that you had it. He saw you had the it factor on that karaoke machine.
I have the smallest ear holes, and so the AirPods keep coming out. I need to get some cool headphones like you guys. But
well, this is the only way we can hear you, so we're not trying to be too tech cool. We know that we're grandma.
It helps with the hair.
it's more of a headband.
It's like a natural brow lift when you have a good headphone on.
A good pony? Girl, you're onto something there.
We'll send you a headphone as your thank you gift and for the next time you're on. We'll send you a headphone that you can plug in. Okay, so you as a bartender, your boss says, hey, you should try out.
Yes. And so then we move, and I just am desperate to get a job because I'm a hustler, baby.
That's right, baby.
I want to get this bread.
Wait, you and I used to say a lot, we're motivated by cash.
Yes.
I remember saying that.
Money
motivated for
motivated.
cash.
Come on. Motivated by money, baby.
I need to work right now. So I got a job selling random stuff at this company that's no longer around, but it was kind of like a Groupon style place. So it was inside sales. It was not the best fit. So I was like, I need to figure out how to get on this home shopping network. So I get an agent, and they cast me to be a model at the home shopping network shop. Was it Shop HQ at that time?
Might have been Shop NBC.
Evine, maybe?
I think it might have been Evine.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I was doing jewelry and I was doing fashion. And I think about 3 months in, I was like, I got to figure out how to be one of the people that's talking. That's for me. I always loved doing public speaking and debate club and theater. And I was like, wow, this is maybe the only job where I can be. I wasn't a good actor really, but I liked that you could be yourself.
Yes.
Genuinely. And that was kind of the job. And I was like, cool, I could be myself on camera. And I definitely want to talk about clothes. This seems awesome. And I was like, I don't know how good I am at showing watches and stuff, but
girl, let me teach you the way.
And then I think I asked you, Erin, or maybe I probably asked both of you, because you guys were nice to me. When I came in, you guys were both very kind and gracious and inviting. So I don't remember which one of you I asked, probably both.
I remember you coming into my office, my other job, and we talked about purses.
I remember that.
Was that in the early days?
Yeah, because I was like, you guys, am I too young to do this? Because at the time, the average age was definitely not like skewing younger in terms of hosts. And like most people were moms and stuff. So I just felt like maybe nobody wants to hear from me. I'm 21, you know, like, I don't know
you
if it's
carry yourself. You're an older soul. I mean, you do carry yourself so mature.
Yes. And you genuinely had a love for fashion and style. Like you could tell you weren't, you know, trying to play a part. Like you said, you genuinely loved it. So no, I mean, I don't think it's about your age.
You both
I think
said to do it. You were both like, no, girl, like you should go to the audition. And then, Becky helped me. I showed up at her office with a PowerPoint and she was like, yeah, you seem really prepared.
You're either going to buy the company or you're going to sell me on that purse.
Yes, I had many, many notes and I practiced literally for like 6 months. Like they gave me a long lead time. I was freaking out about it. I was like, this has to be perfect. I want to be here all the time. And it did go well. But then the brand, you know, the sales weren't super, super strong and they just didn't come back a lot. But then, Erin, you got promoted to be a host and then I became the Indigo Thread girl.
Yeah, girl.
That's right. You launched it.
So behind the scenes, I don't know if you knew this or not, Maia, but behind the scenes, what was happening is when I came on as a guest a few years prior to you guys being guests, or not you, Becky, but Maia, I really helped. I represented Kate and Mallory in like the original. What's it?
The launch
of it. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah. And the buying team at the time, remember how great that buying team was?
David.
So good.
Becky.
Yes.
It was so exciting.
They were so smart. And I knew Indigo Thread Company was under development. I had seen it. They had been talking about it. They were so excited about it. But also when it was preparing to launch, I knew they were preparing me to move into the host role.
Oh, so you're in between worlds.
So I knew not only when I left that Kate and Mallory would need to be backfilled, but Indigo Thread Company, I mean, for all intents and purposes, was going to be this huge thing.
Right.
So I did technically launch Indigo Thread Company as the first guest. It sold out completely in like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, this is such an important brand. It can't crash. And I am no better than the next guest by any means. But because I had been there for a while, people already trusted what I had to say.
Right.
So how do you backfill trust, excitement, and a lunatic who can totally go in all of these, you know, late nights, early mornings, 8 hours a day? Because that's a tough part of the job as well.
For sure.
And I remember them saying, what about Maia Powell for Indigo? And we were all like, boom, like, that's it. She's the one.
Match made in heaven.
And Maia,
So
I mean,
nice.
that's a lot of responsibility for not only young, but also new to take that brand.
Did you know how big it was when you got it?
Did you know like how much the company was counting on it?
No, I didn't know anything. No, I was just mentally ill and like, just like, I love this place.
Sometimes the lights and the camera and the no windows, you like transport into a different world, you know, and all of a sudden you're like, I
think it's good they didn't tell me.
Totally. Ignorance is bliss.
I would have been more nervous probably, but since I didn't know, I was just like, this is perfect.
And you knocked it out of the park.
I felt like it was because it really aligned with kind of my background, also coming from Vermont and a hippie family of artists. I mean, my dad used to own a screen printing shop and make band T-shirts for some of the biggest bands in the 60s and 70s, and made all of Ben and Jerry's shirts. Like, I mean, he used to live in a commune. Like, it's definitely the hippie DNA.
So you were really
within me.
You were walking the talk.
Yeah,
you weren't putting on
natural
the character.
fit.
Communes. It's where all the best eclectic outfits come from.
That's right.
I mean, come on.
It really is. Yeah. And it's hard to get out of them once you get in. So you got to be prepared.
So you got grit if you can get yourself out, and good style. Grit and good style. Okay. So now you're a guest. And probably, would you say you ended up working more hours than you ever thought you could? or would?
Yeah, I mean, I thought I was like a millionaire. I was not, but I was like, this is crazy. You're great about it.
You're in your early 20s. I mean, this is a good little windfall.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I was kind of feeling myself by like year 5 of being a guest, because I'm like, I have my dream job that I didn't know existed until I started in Minnesota.
Until that fateful karaoke night, girl.
Exactly. And I mean, we had so much fun. Yeah, we worked really hard and I was often very tired.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have it any other way. I mean, I feel very nostalgic about my time in Minneapolis.
Right.
Because it was so amazing.
Yeah.
So I think since the network closed down, since we left, since you left, you know, Maia, the community, I know you represented Indigo Thread Company and you worked more than Saturday mornings, but that Saturday morning, that group of gals,
let's go.
That group of viewers, that's, hi, everybody who's watching. Those are,
Hi.
These are our people. Wouldn't you say like that Saturday morning, as you look back on it, was pure magic?
Totally. I mean, we had the most fun and we were utterly authentic too. That's the other thing. It's not like
huge.
It's fake. We actually were friends and are friends, but like it was all real. And I feel like the viewers like that would call in and that we interacted with on a daily basis online were genuinely our friends. I mean, so it's incredible.
It was wild. And it was so weird because, sometimes they just talk about like magic and timing and like you can't fake the funk. Sometimes it's like lightning striking.
Yeah.
Lightning in a bottle.
Totally. I'll never forget standing out there and I couldn't believe I got to host that show. Like I mean, that was also just like timing and, with everything. So I get to be the host, which is already a pinch me moment. But I remember looking at the two of you. And between us, we had the two of us. And at first we had Jess Manuel for Kate and Mallory. And then we had Sarah Skillrud for Kate and Mallory. And I would put them on level playing grounds in what I'm about to say. The way you all had your own point of view, your own personality, your own like strengths that you brought to the show. I like would pinch myself. I'm like, I cannot believe these are the 3 girls that I get to be host to. Like it was wild.
Yeah. It was good TV.
It was like a great casting.
It was good TV.
How Friends was casted. I mean, I don't want to compare ourselves to them.
I mean, ours was better.
Yeah, totally. Way more iconic. But it was like that, where the casting was like a perfect like combination of different personalities and points of view.
Well, and so much so, Maia, that the girls, I mean, because you were Indigo Thread Company, you so embodied it. They were like, she's making my skirt.
Yeah.
She is, right. But with her bare hands, she is, kind of crafting.
Now, they didn't know you were doing it in a commune, but.
Yeah, it was mostly the commune members making the clothes and doing the embroidery. I have really big hands, so it was a little hard for me to embroider the items. But
the findings.
I won't lie, they told me at Job HQ to just lean into that really hard, like that I designed the pieces, so I did lean into that. I didn't design the pieces, but I did inform some of the design choices.
Yeah, you had great style.
And there were pieces that you brought in of your own.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, for sure.
And you had great styling.
I didn't make them, but I did, I think, have a fun way of styling things.
And I think they would turn to you when they wanted your influence, which was often, and we did too. So what were some of your fondest memories? What were some of your favorite moments of waking up at 4 a.m. on Saturday mornings with the two of us?
I mean, well, getting ready, right? Getting ready for a party is always like, it's often like one of the better parts of the party is just getting ready with your girlfriends.
So true.
And so it was so dreamy because even though you're waking up and you're super tired and you're coming into work in your sweatpants, like we're all getting ready together in this green room, drinking coffee and just like doing our hair and makeup and chatting. And I think that was so sweet. And it definitely like wasn't like that forever. Like there wasn't always that time where we would get to be getting ready together because you're only doing like your show, like you're doing Indigo Thread Company shows, so you're getting ready by yourself. So it was really just for Wake Up and Style when we would get to do that. And that was
my
really
favorite
special.
too. Lovey, do you know they took that room away during COVID? and everybody got separate rooms, and they took it. I remember that too, the magic of that space.
Let me just quickly set it up for everybody. So on Saturday mornings, the guests, so I wasn't a part of this, but Becky and Maia, and then Jess and Sarah, they had, and anybody else who would stop by for sure, but they were our three main. They had one room where they all got to get ready before the show. And it did become like a little sorority.
It was so fun in there.
And then when COVID happened, they had to separate them. And I feel like you lost a little of that camaraderie.
Totally.
Now,
so.
If you guys had to give yourselves personalities in that get ready room, who would be what?
Mama Bear.
Were you the house mom?
Mama Bear for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely Becky. You can go to Becky for mentorship anytime, and it's going to be very solid and very reasonable. I don't know what my personality would be. I feel like when I'm overly caffeinated, though, I might say some stuff that is inappropriate and offensive.
That room would be like, you guys got to keep that on lockdown. No videos, no cameras.
No videos.
I feel like you're the cool young chick.
Well, I'm just like a little bit nuts if I've just had fresh caffeine.
Yes. Yes.
Well, and my favorite was Maia was such a good, you had so many good beauty hookups. You were like, listen, girl, the only thing that's been tested and proven is Retin-A. Other than that, everything else is bullshit. You're like,
as my husband says, I'm really confident, but I'm also confidently wrong. The Retin-A thing is real, though. But yeah, I'm.
Girl, if you're gonna be wrong 100%. Like, go for it.
What's that game, Balderdash, where you have to convince people?
Where you like lie.
Makeup definitions.
And then remember on set, okay, when you don't know what you got till it's gone. Totally. Oh, did I sing it in the wrong key? Just,
it's okay.
You don't know what you got till it's gone.
I don't sing along because I just.
Okay, thank you.
We'll just save the Whitney for you.
Yes. Yeah. You just hit the ballads, baby. I'll do everything else. Okay, so when we were on set, all the girls were such good friends, and you guys were such great ambassadors for the network and for me and for Wake Up in Style, because I was there the whole 3 hours, and then you guys would come in and out, and I thought you guys were so nice. Like if a different guest would come in, you guys would be so nice and show them around, or you were just such great ambassadors of the show and of the network. And I love that you guys were best friends. The one problem is, because I already have wild ADHD and I'm already scatterbrained.
Do you remember this, Maia?
You guys would talk so freaking loud.
You would get in trouble over on the stairs.
When you weren't, and I'd be like, be quiet. I cannot focus.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Erin. I love you. Sorry.
No, I love you guys, because now when I look back on it, I'm like, I miss those
you were
girls visiting and talking. Like I miss, like, could you imagine going back to a job where everybody's having so much fun? Your only problem is that there's too much fun happening.
That's right.
But I was like, because I was like trying to listen to your conversation and then listen to a guest. And I'd be like, be quiet. It's so loud. And now I would do anything to be in a loud set right now.
Yeah.
You'd turn our mics back on. Just so there's a cacophony of voices.
Did you ever have a hot mic moment where you talked and you shouldn't have?
Like Jess had bitch be done.
Yeah, Jess Manuel screamed bitch be done.
Not like that, but I had a variety of moments on air where I would just forget what you're supposed to say, like in a
like an out of body.
I'm gonna forget what you're supposed to call it now. Like like a PC principal on South Park. Like you're supposed to be PC.
Yes,
right?
you're supposed to be politically correct.
Correct,
mm-hmm.
But I would forget how to say something in the correct way, or even just like the way that you're supposed to say it, not even related to politics. But I would remember that I was trying to say something about a senior living home.
Oh no.
I couldn't think of like what they're called.
Did you say old folks? What'd you say?
Yeah, I said old folks. and Fatima was working with me, and she gave me just this look where I was like, oh, I really messed up.
Don't offend our elders.
It was really awkward. And I didn't mean anything by it. It's just like, that's what my parents call senior living community.
That's where we're putting our parents one day.
Yes, America, when you talk for 3 hours straight, you're going to say some messed up stuff.
Oh, girl, I'd be
felt horrible about it.
No.
And I was like, oh no, like, I mean, I love seniors. Jeb and I visit the senior center often. Okay, they love
Some of my best friends are old folks.
Maya wants to go on record and let you know that she loves the geriatric. Okay.
I support the geriatric community. They love dogs and babies. I mean, generally. Gosh, I shouldn't generalize. I think I'm in trouble from PC principal. But yeah, I've just had a lot of moments like that where like things that I say more colloquially are just like sort of inappropriate, I guess. Like not the best way to say them. And I would just say them because I've been on air for like 8 hours.
But when you're grasping for the word, sometimes you just...
Especially like on an early morning, you're tired.
Totally.
Sometimes we'd stay out too late on a Friday.
Never.
I mean, I remember
Till
like...
9 o'clock.
Yeah, talking about like your boobs, you know, but on air, it's like the curves, the girls, you know, your chest. There was a few times where I'm like, okay, boobs. Like, I didn't...
Right, exactly. It's nothing too bad, but it just comes out.
Totally. Yeah. Or like you get stuck on the butt, you know, I'm like the derriere, the junk in the trunk and the ass. Like
you're just dancing around it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It happens to everybody. What would you say your absolute favorite part of representing Indigo Thread Company was?
Oh gosh. I think the storytelling, and I mean, beyond just like getting to chat with you or whatever host I'm on with, which is always a blast. Yeah, the storytelling behind the brand. That's something that I love to do. And I feel like I was given a lot of freedom to talk about the inspiration and the styling and just the freedom to talk about my life as well. And so that was really fun. It's like you're doing a mini podcast.
Totally.
You know, right? Like you're just talking about...
Let me give you your props. You have an incredible vocabulary.
Yes, you do. It goes beyond old folks home.
Yeah. I mean,
don't make me cry.
You do.
Are you feeling fragile? Love you.
I'm very fragile.
I miss you so much.
No, you do. Maya, the longer I was in this industry and the longer I was a host, it is rare to find somebody who A, wants to put up with the schedule, who B, you know, can handle this because, you know, you were telling us earlier, you cry more now. That happens after you have a baby, by the way.
Yeah.
But like, truly, the industry is hard.
Yeah.
It's competitive. People feel like they can comment on not just your job, but the way you look, the way you talk.
Yeah.
The hours are bizarre. And to not only be able to handle that well, but then to have such a good vocabulary, to have a strong point of view. People are afraid to have a strong point of view. And both of you did that so well. You had your own point of view. And I think that serves you so much better than kind of jumping around and pretending you like everything or, you know, you're one of the greats, baby cakes. You're one of the greats.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. Can you guys be my resume?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Okay, great. That'd be more impactful than a piece of paper. Definitely will do that.
Well, just remember, you love this job. Like you have been passionate about this since the time you were, 21 years old.
Yeah. And I would watch Home Shopping when I was a little girl because my grandma, who was a stylist for Burberry in New York City, was obsessed with Home Shopping. Like Pat was one of her favorite hosts, Leah Williams. Like it was always on and they would always buy me stuff from QVC. And I always loved watching. So, I mean, it's kind of come full circle and I still love me a good sheet set. So,
girl. Nobody does
too many throws.
Cosale.
No, you got to be very careful when you got a 5-piece sheet set.
Ooh, say it slow.
Talk about
slow down.
Not saying. I remember the first time I went out there. I'm like,
if you don't,
shit. What?
That's why people love watching now because it's fun moments like that. But I will say, beyond the mentorship that both of you provided, I will say that Sam Sabora gave great advice.
Yes.
Early on. I was like, Sam, you're so captivating and people really love you. And he's like, well, I'm just being myself. You need to just keep being yourself because it's going to get tired if you try to do anything else. And people aren't going to really like you if it's not you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like they're going to figure it out. And so that was great advice because you can't really keep it up for like decades pretending to be somebody you're not. And you're not even going to want to.
No,
Yeah.
That would be, I've given this advice before and I'll give it again, especially if any of you are listening to us and trying to get into this industry. I watched so many new guests, whether they're younger or older, come in and because Becky was the matriarch of the fashion guests, they just did their best impression of Becky. And I'm like, we don't need another Becky. We got one.
Yeah.
Who are you? And that's another thing, Maia, you always did so well is you didn't try to do an impression of Becky or me. You just did your own thing. And I think that really led to your success.
Yeah. And
if anybody is trying to get into this business, that is really great advice from Maia and Sam.
Well, and P.S., I mean, you were, in my, how many years separate us? 20, I could have birthed you, right? 20 and change.
Well,
you give birth?
You're definitely one of my honorary moms.
Did you ever stop by a commune in the 70s, 80s?
Handsome, tall
Tell your dad what's up.
He's a good looking guy.
No, but I just remember being so impressed with all of you girls for different reasons. But I was like, this is a kid. Like she's younger than, I mean, at that point, you weren't that much older than my kids.
Yeah.
And
I don't think so.
Do you remember what you did? You advocated for me and yourself with our agent.
Okay,
I mean, about that paper.
Yeah,
okay?
girl.
Lady.
Motivated by money.
HUSTLE, hustler.
Wait, can you guys tell that or no?
Do you want to talk about it?
Is that okay?
Sure.
No, it was really interesting to me because Maia, when we first got this gig, we both auditioned through an agent to get the job. But at a certain point, it's very clear that it's not about a regular booking relationship with an agent is they have a client that calls them. They bring talent in and then the money gets exchanged.
And they make you your schedule and they do everything for you.
Yeah.
And so therefore your agent would get a percentage of your rate.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So you guys got hired on with agents to Shop HQ, but you get into a rhythm where you're doing your own, you're managing your own schedule,
Everything.
You're managing your own booking.
And now we're years into it.
And so the agent is getting a percentage of your money, even though they're not actually working. So what happened?
And sometimes actively making it so that you get paid late.
Oh, really?
I mean, not actively. I shouldn't say actively, but just like you're not getting paid on time.
No, but Shop had 30 days to pay them. They had 30 days to pay us. So now you're 60 days behind.
So now you're giving them a cut and you're getting paid late. So what did the two of you do about it?
Exactly.
I would just bitch quietly and mutter under my breath. This one, Norma raised it. She goes out like a vanguard, I
just
leading
felt
the
like
way.
I was sort of being taken advantage of in a way because I was being represented exclusively. And pretty much as soon as I started doing well at Shop, they stopped sending me out on auditions.
Right.
And I felt like I'm not getting the service that I'm paying for.
Exactly.
And so I can't believe I did this without ChatGPT, by the way.
Was that even a thing then?
No, and I use it so much for hard conversations. But anyways, I just read this book from the Harvard Business Review about the art of negotiation, and I went in and I basically broke up with them. And I said, well, I would love to be represented by you, but not in this capacity. It doesn't make sense for, these reasons. And I respectfully, I'm going to have a direct relationship with them now.
Good for you.
I'm going to negotiate my contract and I'm going to be paid directly. And it actually went fine. I feel like because the woman who owned the agency is she's a great businesswoman.
Yeah.
So she respected it. I think she respected me more after that conversation.
Yeah, and then a couple months later, I'm like, yeah, me too. What Maia said.
Becky's like, what that 21-year-old said? Me too.
Totally.
Take that.
Totally.
Look at me standing on my own. I remember one time asking for a raise. And at the time we had these brilliant female bosses. And I remember going to them and saying, hey, listen, I ended up taking on way more responsibility as a new host than I thought I would. Yeah. Because of the whole circumstance with Sarah moving on and me getting Wake Up. And I said, I really feel like my salary isn't, congruent with the responsibilities you've given me. And so I went to our female bosses at the time. There was two of them. One was my direct report. I reported directly to, and then who she reported to. And I said, listen, guys, I feel like I'm taking on way more responsibilities than we negotiated when I started. And she said, listen, I don't know what we can do. This is a surprise to us. It's not an annual review time. Yeah. It's not a time to look at your salary, but we understand what you're saying. Right. And she said to me, whether or not I can get this for you, because at the time we were a publicly traded company, there was a lot of people to talk to. She's like, whether or not I can get this to you, hats off for you.
For asking.
Yes, for asking. For negotiating for yourself. Awesome. She said, I don't know what I can do, but never stop doing that. your boss is not going to come to you and be like, you know what? I think I should give you an extra.
They will not
rate.
reach out on their own.
Your agent is never going to go to you and say, hey, I'm getting tons of free money off of you. I think you should stop.
Yeah.
And it really, she's like, I respect it. Like,
So
I
great.
respect, and I would bet your agent probably respected that out of you. Like, she's a good business gal.
She understood.
She gets business. And my boss at the time, and by the way, I did get the raise. So
Yay!
Thank you, everybody. So
Gotta do it.
More unsolicited advice, you guys. Ask for more money. Ask for
Throw it
Totally.
into ChatGPT. Ask for that.
Yeah, honestly, people prefer statistically ChatGPT's career advice and therapy advice versus career counselors and therapists.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And
all
it is good.
All this time, I've just been going to Becky.
Well, I don't know. I feel like if people had the option of going to Becky, they would choose Becky because she does have a better vocabulary than ChatGPT, and she has the warmth as well. But
she does give good hugs and good cocktails. Mm-hmm.
It is good advice for everybody to just like ask for what you want in a nice way and be firm. And I also think it's important, and something we did at Shop a lot, like when we were getting ready, it's just like, have those like awkward conversations about money.
Yeah, because you two would get each other's back and help each other keep growing, right?
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
There
And
was
I think
no
at
gatekeeping.
any workplace you should have that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, totally.
I mean, absolutely. I learned about how to invest for retirement from Becky. So thank you.
I
My
hope it's
skin's
going
looking good because of Maya.
So, Maya, what was something about being a guest and presenting Indigo that was more difficult than that people might be surprised about, or something that the hardest part about it that people might be surprised about?
Sure. So I think that is a great question. I feel like the fact that I would never know what my schedule was really difficult, because I would want to make plans, but then I would not, because I was like very committed to the job. So I would be very anxious that I would miss work. And so that was a big issue. I feel like just kind of missing it. Like I missed weddings. I missed like a bunch of stuff. And then also like, at least for the beginning half of my career there, I mean, I was there for almost 10 years, I think, or 10 years in some capacity, whether I was a model or a guest. We would make these vacation plans, and they would be very clear, and like you would reserve them, and you would have blackout dates, and then they would schedule a TTV.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you would have to cancel your plans, or you felt like you had to.
No, it happened. It happened all the time.
It happened a lot. And so that would be kind of stressful. So it was really never anything that happened on air that felt really hard or bad, because it's like almost you go into a trance when you're on air, like nothing else matters. And that's one thing that's great. Like you said, you have ADHD, Erin, like I'm just easily distracted and bored. Yeah. And so like being on air is one of the only things you can't be distracted on board during, which is amazing and kind of therapeutic. It was more the stuff that would happen on air that would be frustrating schedule wise and just like lifestyle wise. Like I think if I had a 2-year-old and I was a guest, I mean, I would be out of my mind.
I've said that. I don't know how these girls did it with little kids.
I don't either.
I started when James was 1 and William was 5.
Oh, man.
Wow.
I know. And
how did I not realize that?
It was chaos.
Yeah.
I mean, utter chaos. We were just teasing the other day. Becky was at my house on Monday, and Melissa Minor and her sweet husband Lou stopped over. So
all your mamas.
All my moms.
So the 4 of us were visiting, and they say hi, by the way. We told them we had you on Thursday. Yeah. So Melissa and Lou say hi. And we were visiting, and my son Will, who is now 17, he's going to be 18 in September. I know.
What?
He comes in to say hi. And of course, he doesn't remember Melissa and Lou that well.
Oh, but she does.
But we were sharing stories because I'm like, William, there were times in Wake Up in Style. My husband traveled a lot pre-COVID for his job. And I remember if I couldn't get somebody to sleep over at our house, I would wake my boys up at 4 a.m. with sleeping bags, put them in the car in their pajamas.
Oh my gosh, I do remember that.
Lay in the host room, back in that private room that I called the cry room. That's where you went to cry. I would put them in the cry room, shut the door, and they would finish sleeping, and then they'd watch cartoons. Yeah. And I would give Becky my badge and be like, go in and make sure they're alive.
Just check on them.
Yes. So they would sleep through Wake Up in Style at the studio. Not every Saturday by any means, but a few times a year.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah. Remember? Or like they would come in and I'd be like, you have to sit in this chair for 2 hours and you can't move.
And they were so good, your little boys.
They were.
Well, they were packed full of chocolate and cartoons. So, I mean, I'd be good if I was chocolate.
He's so cute too. He's 17-year-old. I mean, Maya, the most beautiful baby boy you've ever seen. And he's like, I just got to watch Wildcrats. I thought it was great.
Yeah. He's like, I got to watch Wildcrats for 3 straight hours and eat chocolate.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So sweet.
I think people
You
don't
made it
understand the schedule, Maya, to your point. Like holidays, vacations. So often when people say, I would love to do that job, I'm like, okay.
Check
but
yourself.
just so you know.
Yeah.
I didn't celebrate
really love
Christmas
it.
Eve for 10 years. I worked every Christmas
I
Eve.
forgot about that.
Thanksgiving.
Yes.
My boys thought Thanksgiving was on Friday up until 2020.
That's a really good point though, Maya. I was thinking about that, about the schedule. Like it was like a magnet. If you had a blackout date, they would be drawn to those dates. Like, wait a second. It was, and I don't know if it's still like that.
Well, explain to everybody what a blackout date is, just in case they don't know.
So just dates that are immovable in your mind. Like we're leaving the country. I am not available. And inevitably they would say, are you sure? Could you Skype in?
I know.
Could you just go 10 days later? And you're like, that's the whole trip. No.
And then since everyone would often say yes, at least at the beginning, then you felt like you had to because other people would say yes. And so God forbid you say no, because then somebody else might do it. I mean, there's definitely, it's not like we were competitive as guest hosts necessarily, but it was just like this feeling of a little bit of insecurity that like, if
somebody's going to do
say
it.
No, exactly. Somebody is going to do it. What if they do a really good job and then people like them a lot?
It's so true.
No, that was the worst. Like, okay, sure, you can go, but I'm going to get so-and-so to fill in for you. And you're like, over my dead body.
No. Yeah.
I always felt it was like, it would be like my husband asking me on a date and I'd be like, well, it doesn't work tonight. And be like, fine, I'm going to pick up this young chick down the street and take her. Like that's how it sometimes felt.
It
when
did
they're like,
kind of feel like
no
that.
problem, you go.
But I think they knew that
Yeah,
too.
enjoy.
Yeah.
Oh,
We'll get
you deserve it.
so-and-so to
That's right.
cover 20 of your hours. You're like, damn it.
Oh, and that's the other thing. You don't want to miss 20 hours of work.
Totally.
Because you're a contract employee. So it's like.
It's so true.
It's feast or famine, baby. Feast or famine.
Exactly.
So what started to happen? I lost track of the timeline of when Maya's gone before us. When is all of this happening?
Maya, when did you move to Vermont? I think that was on my hiatus when I was guesting at HSN.
Okay.
I think so too. You were big inspo, Erin. You were like, I'm going to do my own thing.
Thanks, babe.
And I was like, that's cool.
September 2020, I was like, I got to get out of here.
Okay.
I got 2 kids. It's COVID. I'm a teacher. I'm a gym teacher. I got to get out of here. And I was lucky. I actually got to guest from this studio.
That's right.
At HSN during that time. And then when did you say, I got to get out of here?
Well, we had always wanted to have a family in Vermont, and because that's where my family lives. And so we had always been like, we had this goal of buying a house. This is going to be a long-winded answer. I am a TV
love
person,
it.
so
Yes.
you know.
We love your
Will
stories.
you tell the story of the house, like even getting the house?
Oh yeah, for sure.
so-
Everything.
In 2019, we've been passively looking for houses and saving all of our money towards a goal of just buying a house in Vermont specifically. And one day my husband was on Zillow and he saw this super modern house in the middle of the woods on 10 acres. And in Vermont, it's it's old New England. So like most of the housing stock is like early 18 to mid 1800s. Mm-hmm. Like my mom's house was built in 1830, for example. And so it's just like these old, beautiful houses. So it's very rare that you see modern architecture. And so we're like, is this real? Like, because it kind of looked like renderings. And there were only
ChatGPT again.
It was ChatGPT. There were only 5 images, and the sale was going to close later that week because it was just like this architect started building his own like bachelor pad, and then something happened and he didn't finish. And, you know, we call this guy that I used to bartend with, actually, and who's a real estate agent. And
all
I'm
those
like,
things
what's
happen
up
at a
with this
bar.
house? No one would answer my call until I figured out, like, oh, I should call this guy that I used to work with. They're like, oh, you're out of town. Like, this isn't, you're not going to get it. So I'm like, hey, can you go to this house and bring my dad and let me know if it's cool. Cause we can't come, like we're working, but like we want this house, I think.
You're like, I've got a TTV. You need to go.
I got a TTV. Yeah. So my dad, who is an artist and has great taste, but is not like a super cheerleader guy. Like if it wasn't cool, he'd be like, don't do it, Rose. It's not worth it. Cause he calls me Rose, but he went with the realtor and with the construction guy, and they were like, this house is in great shape, even though no one's lived in it for 7 years. It's beautiful. Like, you should totally do it. And
but it's
I'm
halfway done.
It's halfway done.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it was like a shell. So then we're waiting to hear if we got it. So we put in an offer and we did get it. And then we pretty much had stomach issues from anxiety for about a year and a half until we ended up moving in. Cause we're like, oh, we've never even been to like where we bought the house in Vermont. Like it's very rural. We're like, what if the neighbors are scary? And like, what if it's terrible and we hate it? And like, it's the biggest mistake of our lives.
But you bought it sight unseen. We
bought it sight unseen. And, yeah, so it didn't only take $30,000 to fix it, like the contractor said.
Oh, shoot.
Nah, that's okay. It never is. But it's good because it made us motivated. We're like, great, that's not that big of a deal. We could totally do that. So yeah, 5 years later, we're finally done renovating it. And we did all the finishes and got to really design it ourselves, which is cool.
So cool.
But yeah, so in 2019, when we bought it, it took a year for it to be livable. And then 2020 happened and we were living in downtown Minneapolis and in the North Loop. And I wasn't so worried about, like, I remember people came back from a cruise, a Shop HQ cruise, and like people were sick. And then like you started hearing about it on the news and I was still like, I don't know, like I guess it's sort of scary, but it doesn't seem that real yet. Like people were okay. And so I was like, I'll keep working. Like this is okay. For now. And then stuff started getting a little weird work-wise, I felt like. And that wasn't even really what made me decide to leave. Like we wanted to try at least living in the house at some point, right? Because we're like, we bought it. Like we should at least like try it out.
Or maybe just go see it.
Yeah. Walk on the property one time. That could be cool.
Yeah. Sit on a couch.
And where are we in the George Floyd of it all at this point?
So then that happens, the George Floyd murder and like all of the riots. And that was kind of the linchpin of it all for us. We're like, so we're living downtown and there's constantly helicopters overhead 24/7, like right above our apartment building. There's cops going around. All of the stores are boarded up. There's people driving around with unmarked cars, throwing rocks through windows. It's just like apocalyptic.
Do you remember those signs? Like. People would have signs that said, please do not burn this one down. There's kids upstairs.
Yes.
Like, yeah, it was, I mean, it was genuinely terrifying.
Yeah. So
like
for everybody to remember just real quick, George Floyd happened in our backyard in Minneapolis. Yes. So where Maia speaks of where she lived, I mean, it's about 2 miles from where Maia lived, and where Becky and I live, it was about 4 or 5 miles, city miles, the other way. So when Maia talks about things getting funny at work, our current leadership, when COVID happened in March 2020, declared us essential workers.
We had a little pass that when there's not one car on the road. You're the one car. And if you got pulled over, because we weren't supposed to be
because we would work
You're not
past
supposed to
curfew.
drive.
We would work past curfew as well.
And it said that we were essential workers to sell
so when
Kate Mallory.
When you're
tracksuits are essential.
Yes, they are. But you could also just, talk about them from home on Skype. Maia was downtown Minneapolis.
Yeah.
And then George Floyd, the George Floyd happened and the riots were happening and it was really chaotic here. And we had leadership who said, you come to work or you no longer have a job.
Yeah.
And so that I can't imagine. I mean, we know how it felt, but then living in Minneapolis at that time. Like,
it was just,
yes.
it was really scary. Like,
Yes.
I think the word traumatic is incredibly overused, and I don't even feel like it went that far, at least for me, but it was just like terrifying.
Yes.
And constant state of stress for
Yes.
sure. Like that's definitely the way I would define it. And so as that was happening and you're getting text messages automatically sent to your phone from the government saying the highway is closed, like don't go out of your house. We were just like,
You got 10 acres in Vermont, baby.
Do that.
Yeah.
And my husband had just gotten a remote job where he could live anywhere. And so we were really just there because I would say it's an addiction to home shopping. Like I am addicted still. I have withdrawals. Like I miss that job.
We're part of your club. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's really difficult to like not have that in your life when you love it so much. And so it was definitely with a lot of mixed emotion, but I finally like had the conversation with the buyers who were pretty much my bosses, I would say, as a freelancer. And I was like, listen, I don't want to like leave this and I want to continue our working relationship, but I can't be here anymore, especially in an interracial relationship where I'm just like so worried about my husband's safety. And it's just too tumultuous, like for our life right now.
To be fair, a lot of people were Skyping in and Zooming in.
And people were Skyping in. Yeah. And so I was like, can I do that? And they said yes. Which I was sort of surprised. I was surprised pleasantly. That
hey, ask for what you want. Ask for what you want.
Got to do it. That was definitely a scary conversation. Again, ChatGPT would have been helpful. Luckily, I had Becky at the time. Becky's the original ChatGPT. And so then we moved, and it was just, you guys. So, I mean, I hope you visit me someday because it's beautiful and there's lots of fun outdoor stuff to do. Not a lot of great shopping, I will say that. But
I told you I had to look up Vermont today on the map. I was like, where is she? Oh, she's way up there.
Is that in Canada? And I'm like, no. We sometimes wish in the past. We almost became part of Canada years ago. But yeah, so when we hired movers, they were from North Minneapolis and they had never left North Minneapolis in their life, like except for like going to suburbs of like Minnesota. And we hired them super last minute because they were all that was available. And they drive up here and they're like, are you guys in witness protection? Like genuinely, they were like, "Why are you up here? Like, this is
who
crazy.
Are you running from?"
And they thought that, like we might murder them or something. Like we were like really concerned about being up here after dark. So they were like, "All right, like we're gonna do this pretty fast," and they got out of here. They were like, "Yeah, they were nervous about it. It's pretty country." So
they thought you were trying to get them into the commune.
Yeah, don't you think that I would be a good cult leader? I say that always about my husband. Join my cult.
It'd be a nice cult. A nice cult.
We can knit.
Yes.
You know? We'll just knit and it'll be cool.
And
it'll be fun. Yeah. We can go hiking. We can knit. We can do baking.
Yes. Becky would get in trouble because she wouldn't hike. So she would be.
That's okay.
She wouldn't
she
hike.
Has other skills for the cult.
Yes.
You have to have different skills in the cult.
She's the cult therapist who secretly comes back and reports everything to you and John.
And all I do is type in acting as Orna Goralnik from Couples Therapy. Answer the question.
Listen, if you like drapey clothing and, messily curled hair, you fit in at my cult.
Yes, totally. So now what's been happening since you've been in Vermont? Wait, well, the girls want to know, why did you quit presenting on Shop HQ though? Because once you got to Vermont, you were Skyping in with all of us.
Yeah,
so we would still see you via Skype.
Right. So then I had a baby and then I just wasn't able to negotiate a contract that worked for me. And so I decided I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom because I also felt like that's kind of what I wanted to do anyway.
Yes.
Like I said, like the challenges with the schedule, I think it could have worked, but it just wasn't going to work the way it was offered.
Yep.
Exactly.
Well said.
Yeah. Yeah. Good for you. Good for you. So now what does life look like? I mean, what a
I'm a trad wife.
Yeah, girl. Do you have chicken?
like
Do you have
pie?
chickens?
No.
Okay.
Ew.
Okay. Bird flu.
You're the most non-traditional trad wife I've ever met.
I'm kind of kidding because I feel like that now has like bad connotations, even though what's bad about baking and homemaking?
Nothing.
It's actually great. So, I mean, I guess I'm not even being ironic. I kind of am. I mean, we live abutting like one of the most popular state parks in Vermont. So I do a lot of hiking with Otis. Now he doesn't have to be carried, so that's cool.
Such a big boy.
I mean, I genuinely do a lot of crafts. Like I now can knit Fair Isle sweaters, and I make a lot of clothes for Otis. I used to make clothes for me, but it's cuter and easier to make clothes for Otis. So that's my home life. So we have a lot of fun.
Anymore?
Yeah. So when I knew that I was going to have a baby, I thought, what is another job I can do that's social, that like kind of involves production work, like working in TV and stuff like that, and is fun and I like. And I was like, well, I love doing makeup. And in Vermont, listen, you guys have great hair and makeup. In Minnesota, Vermont, we're kind of like behind the curve on a lot of things.
Sure. Yes.
And so I thought, I'm going to start a makeup business. One of my neighbors is like a world famous wedding photographer, like actually
amazing,
super, super talented. And she was like, oh yeah, you should just start a makeup business. Like definitely do it. You can do weddings. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I started a website like the next day and she was like, oh, you really did it. And then she referred me to brides, which was very nice of her. And, while I was pregnant, I started taking on wedding clients. And since I was keyed into production work from, doing commercial work as the talent, they then started hiring me to do hair and makeup on set, and which is a lot easier than doing weddings, but weddings are a lot of fun. And so, I just wanted a job that would be flexible, that would still have all those things that I mentioned. And so, I do maybe a wedding every other weekend, just to keep my schedule not too booked up in the summer. But summer and fall weddings in Vermont are huge. So it's fun. And now I'm way better at doing my own makeup too, because I've learned so many new tricks.
You were always good at it though. You don't need makeup, but you were always good at it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I want to come out and get hair and makeup by Maya and then hike.
Get glam.
What are some trends? Tell the girls, like, what do we need to know in the
how should we be doing our makeup
world?
So today I'm doing like sunburnt makeup, which is huge and I'm loving it. It's just red blush, like a lot of red blush high above the apples and then all on your forehead and nose.
So pretty.
That's really fun. But I've learned it's not necessarily a trend anymore, like baking, about baking where you take a ton of powder under your eye and like under your cheekbone and then you pack it on and then you brush it off, for those of you who don't know about it. That was a trend. I feel like it's fallen out of favor. But for real, though, if you use the Huda Beauty, any of her powders to bake, it makes you look like you have been filtered by AI. Like it makes your skin look so good. And it does make your makeup stay for a whole entire sweaty day. Like I've had brides go hiking with their makeup on.
Wait until you see me in our next podcast
I was just going to say, Huda.
Yeah.
Do you use like a setting spray for the girls who are going to be out all day?
I do. I just use the one from Scandinavia. It's a bridal setting spray. And it works really well. I mean, but really I feel like it's the baking and like a super light application of everything else.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So so since we're at an advice stage, when you were coming up through the ranks at Shop HQ, I mean, the boho trend was it. It was everything. Obviously, a few years ago, it started to evolve and change. And now we saw, Chloe in Paris just a few seasons ago reemerge with boho. Yeah. Lots of people are saying boho with that Victorian, like very feminine boho, like Victorian. How are you interpreting the boho look right now? What do you think the ladies should be doing?
What I've been kind of liking is like the boho mixed with a little preppy, because I've noticed a lot of preppy styles coming back too, just like Johnny collar shirts and polos. But I like when they're reinvented with lace. Like I've seen a ton of really cool textured, very visually interesting polo shirts in unexpected fabrics. And I really like that because I feel like polo shirts are super flattering and the shape is timeless. And so it's just like a really easy swap for a t-shirt, just like wear that with jeans and it looks great. I also like the other thing that I like, and I don't even know if it's just boho, but like the interesting proportions on jeans, like horseshoe jeans, super baggy wide leg, pieced seam jeans. Like, I mean, for years, that's what we did at Indigo Thread Company. Not that silhouette, but just like interesting details on denim and playing around with reinventing that. So I do like that because I feel like even if you're not boho, like those are pants that you can bring into any look and it just adds that fun, relaxed, cool girl style in just one piece. So I don't even remember what the question is, but
how you're interpreting. Well, I think because the boho that you first introduced with Indigo Thread Company was so literal bohemian style. But I think really, if you look at boho, to me, you said a few keywords when you're reimagining boho. Texture is a cornerstone, a hallmark of bohemian trend. Texture, and that can evolve, and shape is, you know, another cornerstone or hallmark of bohemian trend. And then unique and different. So unique and different back in 2015, 2016, when Indigo Thread Company was starting, maybe was the layers of mesh and crochet. Yeah. But now what is unique and different? How you combine proportion or how you combine shape can be, I think, the new modern way of defining bohemian.
Well, and remember, one of the things you used to always say is full boho. Remember, that was always your joke. Like, you can take a piece and integrate it into your, like, you're never going to rip the skinny jeans off of our girls. You're just never going to. Yeah. So if you said, okay, let's just loosen it up a little bit. Let's introduce one piece. You can get a fresh new approach. You don't have to go full boho.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't. And there's so many ways different designers are doing it too. So I think that makes it even more fun and accessible.
Totally. Now, Maia, on my vision board, because I believe you say your dreams out loud because they're easier to achieve, my vision board.
Definitely.
And I want this on the record.
Oh, here.
It is on the record.
Hear ye.
Thank God we still record everything we do and talking to mics. Because God forbid we go a day without our microphones. It is on my vision board that the three of us present fashion again one day together.
She said it.
I hope so.
She just said it.
It better be true.
Girl, it has to be true.
I love that idea.
I know.
It is on my vision
because
board.
You guys make me better at what I do, so it needs to be with you guys.
Oh my,
iron sharpens iron. I think you're right about
that. Yeah,
we've talked about that on the podcast before. I'm sure you've listened to every minute, so maybe you're just copying us. But
did you already say that for real?
Well, we've talked about how some people like to be the head honcho and they want everybody kind of sub them. I like surrounding myself with people who are better than me because I want to be inspired. I want to be better. That's why I love being around the two of you, because I think you're better than I am. And I like myself better when I'm around you because it inspires me to be smarter, wittier, funnier, nicer, prettier, but this is my DNA. So
Aaron, come on.
Where I'm at.
But there is something about that. Like if we had kind of a girl squad back in the day, and there's something about when you see it all the time, like the girls downtown, or, you know, you're like if you're in New York, there's just like a group of girls, the Sex and the City girls, for example, they all look beautiful collectively. You know what I mean? They're all beautiful individually, but there's something so powerful about the group.
So ladies, I want everybody putting this on their vision board, whether physical or mental, that we are back together presenting fashion.
I love this idea.
And speaking of the ladies, Maia, so many people miss you, and a lot of the girls you shopped with watch this. Is there anything you want to say to them?
Well, I still love you guys and think about you often, and follow me on Instagram so we can keep up with each other if you aren't already. But it's Maia, MAIA.Rose. Yeah, I mean,
and Instagram is your main social, right?
I don't even have anything else.
Okay.
God, I'm living in the dark ages.
We're going to get you a TikTok yet.
Do you know, every day Becky and I swear at each other because all this technology coming at us like a freaking railroad. Every day we're like,
tough.
The hardest part about this is the technology.
Well, and we have to learn something new every single day. Like we're constantly
Well, that's cool.
learning.
It's good for you. Your brain's gonna feel great forever.
Yeah. And when she says we, it's her. I'm like,
she's tech support.
Well, we have Garrett behind the scenes, which is amazing. We
Praise
have
the Lord.
Thank God. But he's like, guys, you are so behind.
I sent Maya the wrong time because I forgot she was in another.
We don't know how to do time zones. We don't know how to do time zones. No.
Should we come see you? I have friends in.
I would love that.
Where is Manchester from you? Is that close or is
New
that far
Hampshire?
away?
Manchester, New Hampshire, or Manchester, Vermont?
Manchester, Vermont.
Wow. Yeah, that's like 2 hours.
Okay.
It's a very Tony little town.
Oh, it's a swanky little village. Okay.
I don't know anyone in Vermont, but I'm more than happy to come out there.
So we'll do.
You know Alec Baldwin. I mean, come on.
Is that where he and Ilaria are?
Ilaria.
There's a lot of celebrities here who don't. I mean, you can't find their house, but it's like on the middle of a mountain road somewhere.
Yes.
Are you watching that at all?
Do you and Ilaria ever hang out with her 19?
I live in like a cave. The only information I get in my cave is fashion information from the internet.
Well, and ChatGPT, girl. Never forget.
ChatGPT. Oh, my friend?
Yeah. Never forget ChatGPT. Yeah, you love chat. Chat, Mr. GPT.
See, those small ear holes will get you.
Girl, quit bragging. I've got huge old man ears. I'm starting to get jealous of those little ears of yours.
I should stop talking about
mine. Mine are barely covered by this beast right here.
I do miss when, Erin, you would say that you were going to get arrested for things that you were saying, because that would always crack me up.
Well, I'm going to get arrested today because my midsection is showing. I've been pulling my pants up.
Look at that. Look how cute you are.
Well, there's things popping out, but it's just us girls. It's all right. There's things on.
My shirt was buttoned completely wrong for the first 20 minutes of the
but I like that there was a little extra clavicle. I thought it would get us some extra views on YouTube. So I was like, keep that open, girl.
That's right.
You keep that open. Gosh, you guys, we have so much fun together.
I hear Otis saying, Mommy Owl.
Oh my God.
He loves his owls.
He loves owls.
Is he up from his nap?
Yeah.
Okay, right. You got to get going.
Love you.
We love you, Maya. Thank you so much for taking the time to hang out with all of us. We were so happy to have you here. And listen, if someone comes knocking at the door, it's probably one of us. So,
oh, good. Please do. I'll get you an owl and you'll fit right in here.
But ours will be witness protection.
It will
cover for us.
I finally got arrested after all of these years, and I do need to escape.
We'll keep you safe here.
Thank
this is
you.
a safe place.
We adore you. We love you. We miss you. Say hi to everybody.
Love you.
Bye, girlie.
Bye.
You guys, don't forget, Isomers is now partnering with So Happy You're Here podcast to give you an exclusive 20% off your order. You go to isomers.ca. You'll get 20% off your order. If you're at $100 or more, they'll ship it to you for free directly to your house. It's an exclusive savings just for all of you listening. If you haven't been introduced to Isomers before, they are the best cosmetic chemists in the world. Scientifically proven results for over 30 years. If you don't know where to start, there's an easy quiz to take at isomers.ca. Or if you just want to go for their icons, their hyaluronic acid, their fast lift eye serum, their copper P, it's all available and it's exclusively for you with Happy20 to get that 20% off your order. Okay, a quick reminder, you guys, our first supporter of our podcast, it's Daily Fascia. Daily Fascia offers the most practical, easy to follow techniques to help you unlock your body's hidden potential. It's for freedom, it's for flow, it's for relief. If you're struggling with recurring injuries, stiffness, or you just want to move more freely, Daily Fascia has got you covered. You're going to use the code HAPPY50 to get 50% off your first course at dailyfascia.com. We have all the information for her different coursework, her YouTube channel, all listed and tagged below. You guys, do us a huge favor, please. Will you like this podcast, share it, or subscribe? Because that helps, right, Bex?
It will help us a ton.
It will. And I don't know if we've helped you, but if you don't mind helping us, that'd be great.
Fair's fair.
Love you.